I don't know why I just thought of this, but greetings, Earthlings. We are now taking over your radio. God, hit him high, hit him high, hit him high.
You guys start low.
Hit him ho. I said hit him ho. You hit him ho. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gamey things.
Exactly. We're here today, my friends, with another board game snapshot. You're going to get a coffee
Baja!
in the middle of our baja.
Baja!
For anybody that doesn't know, our board game snapshot series is a series where we do 5 mini board game reviews. You'll love to see it. We're going to give you our thoughts. We will let you know which of these have been sent to us for review, but I'm telling you right now, all but one were sent to us. Although there is kind of a special mention next to the one that wasn't sent to us.
Correct.
Jeffrey, I guess that we have to start on my side, and maybe we'll start with the one that wasn't sent to us. So the first game we want to talk about is a Button Shy, and why there's an asterisk next to this is because Button Shy has just been very, very kind to us, and they have sent us many a game for review, but a side note to that is I have bought every single one of the games that I could possibly get my hands on, and even if they're sending me one, I'll still buy it.
So I was going to say two things. One, we were lucky enough to go to the Button Shy store.
Yes.
With our friend Michelle over Secretary Left. Go check them out. Mm-hmm. Jamie ended up buying...
I was let loose.
Hundreds of dollars of worth.
I was let loose.
Of Button Shy games. So
the point is, I freaking love Button Shy. I have brought Jeff over to my side a little bit, and one of the reasons is because of this game. This is Revolver Noir. It's from Javier Davidson, or Xavier Davidson. I assume it's Javier. Xavier. It's either...
I think Javier is a J.
All right, well, Xavier. It's one of them. I don't know.
Xavier, maybe?
Anyways, Revolver Noir is a 2-player only card game. So, Button Shy games, they're 18 card games. They come in these little wallets. This one is for 2 players only, and it is probably one of the most unique of all of the Button Shies that I've played. It is a hidden movement game that you play in your hand.
Correct.
Okay? So probably easiest for me to just show you. So this is one of the characters. When you play this game, you have this stack of cards in your hand.
This is the map that you're playing on.
Yes, you get a map and a reference card for each player. So on top is the room that you are currently in. And on your turn, you can choose, you have 2 action points to spend, and you could choose to do a variety of things. You could move. You could set a trap in the room that you're currently in by turning your card. You could do the special action that is listed on your card. Or you could shoot. If you think that you know where your opponent is and they are within shooting distance, you could take a shot. You need to shoot the opponent twice in order to win.
You need to do 2
points of damage.
Because you can do damage other
ways. Through
traps and room effects. There's one other thing you can do, which is called listen. And that means the person needs to tell you a room they might be able to move into from their current location. That allows you to deduce a little bit of where they might be.
Exactly. So on each card, it tells you which rooms you're allowed to move to. It tells you which rooms you're allowed to shoot in. And some of them will tell you if they have like a special ability. So basically, the reason why listening is such a helpful thing is because right now, if Jeff's like, I'm going to listen, I might pick balcony. I'm in the hallway right now. So Jeff can look at the map and say, okay, if she can move to the balcony, then I know she's either in the hall or the foyer, because those are the only 2 rooms connected to the balcony. So it's trying to like gather up enough information. You're also starting to like, the more you listen and the more people move and all of this stuff, you start kind of mapping out where they might be going. If you're Jeff, you kind of just jump back and forth between 2 rooms thinking you're being really clever. But that is essentially the game. This game is so much fun.
It's very enjoyable.
It was an instant hit when we played it.
And you can play it literally anywhere.
You can play anywhere.
You can play it standing in line.
Yep, it takes 15 minutes to play. You can play it standing in line. We do also have the expansion, which we have not played yet, actually. It's called Rogue Agents, and it gives everybody a different, like, special ability.
Asymmetrical ability.
Exactly. So, like, there's a thief and a demolitionist and a ninja and an assassin. But that's the game, and it's so simple. Like, this was one, we didn't end up doing it, but we took it to Disney World with us because because there were 3 of us, we couldn't really play it, but you could play this in line. You can also play it with more than 2 players. You just need 2 copies of the game. So we would highly recommend this. If it sounds like something that you're interested in, Button Shy will be at PAX Unplugged. It is one of the like best opportunities to get Button Shy games because they have a bunch there. So
yeah, I would say just quickly, like, for those that are my age and remember like GoldenEye for N64, like Perfect Dark, those like first person shooters. I mean, I know that there's first person shooters now, but they're way too intense. But it really does feel like that.
Yeah, and I really like everything's in black and white, so it's kind of like you're in like an old-timey type of movie vibes, and everyone that we've either showed this to so far or have recommended it to and they've gotten it and played it have loved it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I think this is your favorite Button Shy game.
It's the most I've played. That's the one I've played the most. But yeah, I wouldn't...
I think it might be one of mine, too, that's not a solo game. Yeah, I can't say enough good things, but I literally have nothing negative to say about it.
I don't have anything negative, and again, just being able to play it anywhere is, like, again, a couple nights ago, we were tired and we wanted to play a game, and we were like, well, why don't we play that and just sit on the couch? Like, Jamie sat on the couch, I was on the chair, and we just, like, talked to each other and played this game.
Yeah, it's so fun. So, Revolver Noir, highly recommend.
Next up from iello, we have Get On Board, New York and London. This was sent to us from Flat River Group, so thank you to them for sending this along. Get On Board is a route building, pick up and deliver, flip and write. I will just quickly mention, this does come with New York and London. The difference is the New York map is a 2 to 3 player map, and the London map is 4 to 5 player map, and it's on each side of the board. You just flip it. In Get On Board, you are, as I just mentioned, basically you will be flipping a card, which is going to give you a color, and that color on your notepad, if that's what we're going to call it, will tell you which routes you can build. And normally it's like 2 straights, or you have to build 2 90-degree turns with these little wooden pieces.
Rods.
Yeah.
Rectangles.
So it might say, like, if you pulled a pink token card, it might say you have to build a straight line with 3 of those sticks.
Sticks, yeah.
And ultimately on the map board, you are trying to pick up passengers who are trying to go to different locations in New York or London. So there's like businessmen that are trying to get to skyscrapers in the New York board. There are students that are trying to get to universities or colleges. There are tourists that are trying to get to a variety of different places in the city.
Like the Guggenheim.
And then there's also special locations that if you once you hit those locations, it might multiply based off of how many total passengers you've picked up on your bus. It's very traditional roll and write, flip and write, where all of these things are going to combo off of each other. What I would say about this is, for someone like myself, who I've played a ton of roll and flip and writes with Jamie, this one is right in the sweet spot for me, because some of those bigger grandiose ones with so many combos, I end up losing track of what's going on. This one felt pretty light and straightforward, where the combos didn't go crazy. It was a little bit more digestible. I also, I love pick up and deliver, and I love route building, so this one scratched that itch for me. It also played very quickly at 2-player. Very quickly. It was because there's only so many rounds. There's only so many cards you can flip up. I think it's 12 total. So there's 12 total rounds. and it's pretty speedy, and yeah, I very much enjoyed it.
I really liked it too. My preference for roll and write and flip and writes are those heavy combo-y ones. So this isn't necessarily one that I personally would go to. Although if I want to play like a flip and write with Jeff, this is like the perfect one for us to play together. This one doesn't have a solo mode, but they do have another version with Rome and Paris that does have a solo mode. So this one doesn't. The other thing that I liked about this, because while there's not like a ton of combos, there are different things to think about, because you can also get into traffic jams where you are getting negative points. So you're trying to like avoid each other, because if you go on the same road as the person you're playing against or the people, you're going to get negative points. There's certain areas of the city that are kind of blacked out that if you go there, it's a traffic jam because they're thematically a more popular place to like travel.
Middle of the city usually.
Exactly, yeah. And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I lean a bit more towards like the Three Sisters style of like beep boop boop boop. But this, for me, this is a coffee game. This is a cottage game. This is one that you're like, let's just have a relaxing, like 30-minute flip and write game that you and I can enjoy together. I love the grannies. They're just on the bus. They're not trying to get anywhere.
No, they just want to drive around.
I love that. And I do love, it's Sashi and Sashi. The artwork's amazing.
I mean,
the design is clean. It's simple. It's easy to learn. And it's on BGA if you're interested in trying it.
Yeah, I was going to throw out the BGA thing. If you want to try it for free, you can. The other thing too is I really like the route building. You're basically not allowed to like loop back on yourself. So there is some thinky to it for sure. There's
also like green lights in it that let you kind of zip through. So if you can plan ahead enough, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get to this green light, which is going to zip me through to like. Yeah,
I'm not saying we're not saying there's no combo-ness to this.
No,
it's just not like those other ones where it's like, okay, I did this thing and now I need to do this thing, and this thing lets me do this thing, and this thing lets me do this thing, and then oh, I have a bonus action. I'll need to remember to do that. That doesn't really happen in this. It's basically like 2 or 3 maximum combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's Get On Board New York and London from iello.
Next up is a new version, a revised version of an older game. And that is Hey, That's My Fish, in a much larger box than the original. So this game was sent to us from Plan B, which is Next Move is the publisher, which is under the umbrella of Plan B Games. So for anybody that hasn't played Hey, That's My Fish, this game plays the exact same, but the difference is that the components have all been upgraded. So in Hey, That's My Fish, you have a grid full of hexagon tiles that either have 1 fish, 2 fish, or 3 fish on it. At the beginning of the game, everybody's going to put out their little penguins. Everybody plays as penguins. And you're going to put them out on the 1 fishes on the board. So you get 4 in a 2-player game. Then all you're doing is you are moving in a straight line. Whatever fish tile that you started on, you are going to collect. Whoever has the most fish at the end of the game wins. There are certain things in this game. It can be, the way we play it, it is an extremely mean game where you are trying to cut people off, because if you can no longer go anywhere because somebody has cut you off, then that penguin doesn't get to move anymore. And you're just going to keep going until all the penguins have been removed from the board. Whoever has the most fish wins. Now, in the original version of this game, one of the benefits was it's a tiny little box, but the tiles were very, very fiddly because they're just on the table. So if you're like trying to pull something out, you're kind of spreading things and things can get a little bit confusing. What this does is it gives you almost like a tray to put the tiles in, and you just need to press down on a corner and it pops up. It just pops up
very pleasing,
ever so gently. It just makes it so much cleaner, so much easier to play. Even the setup itself is easier because there's no guesswork, because in the original one, you're putting the tiles down. You're like, okay, I have to count how many in this row and this whatever. This one just has the tray. You just put the fish in the tray. Bada bing, bada boom.
And the penguins are
bigger and they're so cute. And honestly, it made the game way more enjoyable.
I agree.
We enjoy Hey, That's My Fish. We've enjoyed the original. We have the original, which we are most likely just going to donate now. Maybe to a friend, give it to a friend, because even though this one takes up more space, it was easier to set up. It felt quicker to play for some reason, and it just was, the experience was way more enjoyable to the point where we finished it and I was almost like, yeah, let's set that up and go again, whereas I would never do that with the original because it's just too fiddly. So I am so happy that they have made a new edition of this. I think it's only, even though the gameplay is the same, it's only improved the experience of playing the game.
Agreed.
And it's very simple. It's for kids. Like, this is a kid's game, but you can enjoy it as adults because we're adults and we enjoy it.
One of my favorite things to do in this game is to...
Oh, he's so mean.
Is to cut Jamie off into her own little iceberg.
Because I go for the big fish and Jeff just goes for screwing me over.
I literally just go, because again, like, when you move, you take that tile away. And so no one can obviously go to that space. So I'll basically try and cut off parts of the map. So if I see Jamie, like, going off into the corner to get, like, that 3 fish, I'm like, oh, you're done. And I'll just, like, start picking her off so that she can't leave that little island she's created for herself.
Yeah. If you don't like to be mean, you don't have to be, but honestly, it makes the game a lot better. I'm sure there's probably also people out there wondering, like, oh, well, if I have the old one, do I need this one? Of course you don't need it. But if it's a game that you love, that you play a lot, honestly...
I do think it's worth the upgrade.
I think it's worth the upgrade, personally, which we wouldn't say for a lot of things. It's just this and Thunder Road Vendetta we think is worth the upgrade, basically.
Next up from Horrible Guild, we have Sunrise Lane, and this one also was sent to us from Flat River Group, so thank you again to them. This is a Reiner Knizia card placement game, like... house placement.
House building?
Yeah.
Game?
I would say, kind of like, it's somewhat area control-y.
Kinda. Actually, it is, definitely.
In Sunrise Lane, it's very, 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 very simple. So there is going to be a shared board between the 2 players, and you are going to be playing out cards of different colors. When you play out that card, you are allowed to build a house. Depending on how many cards of that color you play, you might be able to build 1, 2, 3, however many houses, and you're going to stack them on top of each other. All of the spaces on the board have a pip value, so they have a color and a pip value. When you play a card, if it's a red card and you're building on a red space with 2 pips and you build 1 house, you're going to score 2 points. If you play 2 red cards and build 2 houses on the 2 pip space, you're going to score 4 points.
Math.
If you play 3 red cards and build on the 2 pip space, you're gonna score 6 points.
I didn't see that coming.
That's basically the game, and you can keep building on your turn as long as you have cards to play of the color next to the house that you just built. So you have to continue in one line, once per turn, once per round. You're allowed to play out a park. And so you would just play any card to play out a park, and that allows you to keep going with your abilities to build. So let's just say I built on the red space, and the next space is a blue space. And that's the only place I can build, but I don't have a blue card. I could play a card to build a park that might let me then build on the other side of the park. Exactly. That's all you're doing. You're building out houses, scoring points based off the pips and the spaces that you build on. And then at the end of the game, there's a bit of a area majority / point majority bonus scores. Yeah. So this map has 4 quadrants. 2 are red, 2 are blue. The red spaces,
big green is the whole
red spaces are going to score. Whoever has the most houses in those red sections will score extra points. In the blue spaces, whoever has the tallest building is going to score extra bonus points. That's the game. Super simple. Very quick. Yeah. And I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
Same. When Jeff first explained it to me, I was like, I'm sure it's going to be fine. But it's so relaxing. And it, once again, just like, hey, that's my fish, it can be very mean if you want to start cutting people off and stuff, but really...
You can't.
Not even.
You can't.
Because it all depends on what you've got kind of going on in your hand, and you can kind of plan where you're putting stuff out. This to me is definitely like, play this while having a coffee, definitely a cottage game. We finished it and immediately were like, you could play this with your mom, like, which we were talking about today, and that's how we gauge how difficult a game is. If we say you could play it with your mom, this is a very light game.
I would say ideal player count, which we haven't mentioned for most of the others, but I think most of them were pretty straightforward 2-player games. I would say this one's probably best at 3 or 4. 2-player, you're kind of doing, it's still very enjoyable, but you're not interacting quite as much. I think at 3 or 4 player, you get a little bit more mean. If that's what you're into. But if you're not into mean games, playing this at 2 is very solitaire, doing your own thing puzzle.
Yeah. I think that there would be actually quite, just as a fair warning, I think that there's quite a few people that are in the hobby that if they played this, they would probably be like, eh. I do think that, like, if I'm being totally honest, but if you're looking, it's very light. So I would say this isn't the game that you're taking to like your game group where you're playing like a bunch of like bigger games. Like this is more of like a game you play with your family. You play with your mom. You play if you just want something relaxing, something basic. But it's not a game, I don't think, that is like, you're not going to play this 20 times and every time be like, this game is amazing. I think this is a game that you play a couple times a year.
It's a good palate cleanser, and I think a good game if it's like, hey, we're having a game day, people are coming over early, you've got some coffees around, and you're like, hey, how do we ease into this day? And we just want to chat and catch up, but also play a game while we're doing that. This is where this kind of fits, I think.
It's a Reiner Knizia. Can't go wrong. Are you ready for the cutest game we have played all year?
It might be the cutest game ever.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know. That is Mycelia from Ravensburger, which was very kindly sent to us from Ravensburger. They also sent to us a little like mushroom tea mug, some tea, and some stickers. It's just so adorable. Now, this game is, it's coming right to retail, which I think Ravensburger games typically do. So I think it's pre-order most places now, unless it's available by the time this video comes out.
Right.
In Mycelia, you are essentially trying to clear dewdrops from your little forest board. So everybody who plays has their own little forest board that are set up with these little dewdrops set on them. There's also on the board kind of like a little portal. You're trying to move your dewdrops to the portal in order to get them to the shrine, which sits in the middle of the table. So you're doing that by playing out cards from your hand, which are going to let you do a variety of things. They might let you collect leaf tokens, which are your resources. They might allow you to move your currency. They might allow you to move dewdrops from specific locations or from anywhere. They might allow you to just get rid of a dewdrop and put it in the shrine, and a variety of different things. This game also has a deck building component. So there is a row of workers that you are able to hire, essentially. And they are all little mushrooms that are so cute.
Yeah, I just want to say, the cute thing doesn't normally trigger me at all. But this game, man.
It's so freaking adorable. So anyways, you're hiring these different mushroom workers, which are really going to give you like kind of upgraded abilities, like moving a bunch of things or getting rid of like, so it's just like a bit more intense. And you have to pay for them based on their leaf cost that are on the cards. So that's what you're doing. You have 3 cards in your hand. You must play all 3 cards on your turn. You have the option to do some basic actions, which are on your board that you can flip, that you do have to pay for them. And then you can hire workers, and you are trying to clear your board of the dewdrops. Now, one interesting thing about this is in between, like in the center of the table, there's a shrine. In a 2-player game, once you get 10 dewdrops on the shrine, there's a little die on it, and you actually like move it. And then there's a hole where the dewdrops and the die will roll out. And whatever symbol is on the die, it's going to have a little card that shows you now you need to add new dewdrops to your board. The first person to completely clear their board of dewdrops is going to win the game. It's equal turns, so if one person finishes, the next person might get to go. That's it. The game, very simple. Rule set, very easy to get into. I believe it's for ages 9 and up. It's for 1 to 4 players. It is freaking adorable. There are some more advanced rules that you can play, or you can keep it real simple. We did go straight into the more advanced rules, because the simple rules are really like if you're playing with children or people who aren't used to playing.
Simple rules are very simple.
Very, very simple. Even the more advanced rules are very simple. It's just adding a few more like symbols in, essentially. I loved it. I really, really, really like this game.
I just want to say quickly too, like,
it's so cute.
It's deck building, but there's also like a little interesting abstract puzzle to it, because like moving those dewdrops, you can be more efficient. Like, for example, we played a game where I had a bunch of cards that allowed me, because there's terrain types that the dewdrops are on. So it's like grass, leaf, river,
water,
soil.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that the deck I was building had a lot of grass cards in it, because it'll be like you can move dewdrop from a grass terrain type. That's what the card lets you do. And so I was like, okay, I need to get all of my dewdrops to grass types so that I can take advantage of my deck. Like it's one thing to build the deck. There's another thing of like
to
optimize your little puzzle. And it's a very solitaire experience.
Yep.
There's really not a ton of interaction other than like maybe one of us buying a card that the other person wanted.
But there's multiple of most of the cards.
This game has a lot going on for it.
First of all, it's adorable. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just like easy breezy, but still engaging enough and thinky enough that you are kind of in it the whole time. And at 2 players, we were cruising. Like, this game went very quickly because, like...
Does it have a time on it?
45 minutes.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah, so we were going, and then we would, like... As soon as I was done, Jeff would go. And as soon as I would go. So the
no downtime.
No, there's no downtime because you don't really need to pay attention to what the other player is doing, other than the fact that you want to know how close they are to winning, I guess, right?
Or like if there's 10 dewdrops. But it's very much like, all right, that's me. I'm going to buy a card. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, because like you draw 3 cards, so you can plan your turn because you're playing them one at a time. So if I don't need to worry about what he's doing, I can plan my next turn while he's taking his turn.
And I will just mention, like, the art you're seeing on this cover is literally the art that's on the cards. It's very cute, but it's beautiful. Like the color style, like kind of like the washed out, like pastel-y, but like watercolors. Like it's incredible looking.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They've done a very, very good job.
The shrine also is like kind of this like little gimmicky thing, but it's gimmicky with a purpose. It functions. Yeah. And when you get to like spin it and have the stuff fall out, it's actually like, it's cool. I really like it. It's not one of those things that I felt like, why is this in here?
Yeah, that they didn't need to add this.
Yeah, and bonus, it actually fits back in the box because a lot of times when there's those components,
it's like build this thing and
it's
it
like,
doesn't
now
fit.
where do I put this now? Anyways, it fits nicely back in the box.
Yeah.
The forest tiles, you can also start where everybody's playing on the same one, or you can flip them and they're asymmetrical. Yeah, and I just wanted to say too, like, once again, this is a very light game. You can play this with kids, you can play it with your family, but we as 2 adults who have played thousands of games at this point really enjoyed it. So take that for what it is.
Have we played thousands of games, you think?
Jeff.
I think that's probably an exaggeration.
I don't think so.
Hundreds, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of games we've played. I would definitely feel very comfortable recommending this because I just thought it was very sweet and I had a really good time.
I was completely shocked
on
how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. When I first read the rule book, I was like, oh wow, this is really light. But it's light and fun. So that is Mycelia from Ravensburger, and those are 5 more games that we have been playing recently. Now, if you're interested in any of these board games, I'll make sure to put links for everything down below, like directly to the websites and stuff. Of these, I think only Get On Board is on BGA. I don't think Hey That's My Fish is on BGA, which is surprising because I think it would make a great BGA game. So that's the only one that you can try for free, to our knowledge. Now, if you're interested in board games, like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
Boardroom Game Cafe.
Yeah, do you like snacks?
I do.
Perfect. Where do people get snacks? Munch Pack. Snacks from around the world. You know, we have $5 off coupon. Did I even say that full sentence?
Nope.
We have a $5 off coupon. Coupon.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days. Unbelievable.
I called you a hoe. All right, let's go. Let's go, hoe.
Yeah. You gotta change it up every time, you know?
Do it again.
What?
Good job.
Why?
Because I want
Ah!
It scared me.